Hi, Pop. As you complete your 60th trip around the sun, some of your friends and family would like to share their favorite memories of you from over the years. Some of us have known you since the day you were born, and some of us have known you since the day that they were born. And others are kindred spirits who've met in between. So without further ado, here is what we remember and love about you.
Doug, it gives me great pleasure to wish you a happy 60th birthday. It's hard to believe that you're at 60. I just had mine last year, and it's a blessing that we're here to be able to celebrate, and we're still kicking rather than pushing up daisies, as they would say. I mean, we have so many memories over the years. It's just amazing times that we've had together. And I think of one memory is when we were outside. It was a kind of a misty late afternoon, and we're in the backyard climbing in that maple tree, and that's when you fell. And I thought you were dead, not moving, not saying anything. And I ran inside to get Dad, and I know Dad came down, just threw his trench coat on and came out. And the miracle is, you weren't to be able to run or anything, and here you've done triathlons, marathons, etc. So that's a testimony of the Lord's faithfulness, Doug. Thinking of the time that we had up in Minnesota, Ely, Minnesota, the four of us, Dad and you and John and myself, on the fishing trip, and on the water, camping, fishing. That was just a wonderful time that we all had together, and it was great that Dad made that happen for us. And I remember he always would talk about going out west and the Dude Ranches, and then how we had that trip to Gunnison, Colorado. And the thing is, remember how we all got sick? And we had to cut the vacation short. We didn't go up, on the horses, for the pack trip or any of that we've been dreaming about for years, as Dad would talk about the great trips that Grandpa took, he and all on back in the, I don't know, probably 40s is what it was. Like, there's so many wonderful memories together. I count it a real blessing that you are my brother, and I am grateful to have you as my brother, and the times that we've shared together, and the times that we'll have in the future as well. And I pray God's blessings on you now and at all times. You're my blessed brother. Love you so much. All right, brother. We'll see you. Bye.
Happy 60th birthday, Doug. I'm delighted to spend a few moments and celebrate you. I think of back when I first met you, when I was coming into the Beck family, and at our wedding day, the nerves were hitting me, and you came back and in your kind-hearted manner just visited with me and helped bring a peace and a calm, and I appreciated that. And through the years, you have shown such great listening skills that people really feel heard when they have a conversation with you, and that kind-heartedness and caring for people is so evident. I also admire your team spirit and how you just jump in and help out, and I think of the great communication back and forth when we were planning Mom and Dad Beck's 50th anniversary, and it was a great time, and how you are so creative in your problem solving and coming up with ideas. You love life, and it's so clearly evident, and just listening to your stories of your adventures, things I'll never do, I'm not brave enough, but it's sure great to see it and experience it through your eyes. And I just pray that you have a wonderful birthday and many blessings to you in the future, and just know that you're a great asset and a great person to be around. And I love you and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Happy 60th birthday, Doug. We had this idea of sending you a video of some memories and thoughts, and I thought I would mention a few things that came to mind. I think the first things that came to mind in those first decades when we knew each other, like when I was at the Coffee Bean Tea Leaf and you would come down, it kind of surprised me. And I remember thinking, who's this guy? Who is he really? And just enjoying your curiosity and your willingness to explore and be aware of the world and embrace it in a way. Memories of conversations that we had around that. And after that, I think of the kids' growing years. After Ivy was born, you would carry her around with her buns in your hand. balancing her, and it always seemed like so treacherous. But it was such a strong memory because, of course, she came out just like whoop, ready to stand up and be a Homo sapien. So that's a fun memory. And as well, like the ways that you would engage them, like being cat bus for them and reading Harry Potter, just trying to be the present dad, which, you know, they were really lucky and are lucky to have. So those are some of my favorite memories of you, you know, in subsequent years, just the ways that we continue to prioritize the kids and be in each other's lives, and the ways that you have grown to be a much better listener. That's something that kind of comes to mind. So 60 is big, and you will wear it well. And I know you're not a prayer of sorts, but I do have wishes, hopes, prayers for your good health, your salubrious life, and your continued ways of being in the world. Happy 60th.
Mr. Rattlesnake, happy birthday. Your eldest daughter has instructed us to share our favorite memories with you, so I'll give you a few of my favorites. Of course, Rattlesnake Ridge, Mr. Rattlesnake, it's a classic. I just have loved all the Virel adventures that you've taken us on, you know, everything from climbing mountains to, well, not just hiking, but actually climbing mountains. You know, the first time I ever was on a bare rock face and you have to put your own carabiners up, that was with you in Washington. Yeah, I got great memories from that. Lopez Island, Bass Lake, swimming across that with you, Shawnee, and Dad. Just like really, really great memories. Oh yeah, times in Ohio as well, wrestling in the grandparents' backyard, trying to climb that old oak tree back there. And I'll include a picture of us doing push-ups on top of each other. I think, you know, we got hands on ankles and then the ankles on the shoulders. A couple other memories that I really appreciate from you is talking me through what it means to be an engineer. You know, as I was looking forward to college and what to pursue with my career, you talked me through that, and I really appreciated that, love that memory. And then one that is just kind of a random one that stuck in my head is one time you were making shawarma for us, and for some reason I just remember exactly how you cut the bell pepper. And I think about that every time I prep a bell pepper nowadays. So thanks for that. But yeah, just a lot of great memories. Unfortunately, they're all, 8-10 years old at this point, so hopefully we can make some great new ones in the near future. Love you and happy birthday.
Hi, Uncle Doug. Happy birthday. I'm so excited to be part of celebrating your special day with you. There's so many great memories I can think back on of all our times together, and I'd say one of the top ones is when you came one time when our baby goats were born and they were jumping around and everything, and you said, "Oh, they're pronking," and we've never heard that word before, and so we use it to this day. And I think it's just a great example of how you always are researching things and love to learn, and it really comes across well because you are a great conversationalist, and it's always a lot of fun to visit with you and hear your perspectives and all that you've been doing as well. And also, I appreciate how you helped me so much on your last visit to our place with my tiny house, and I learned a lot from you and how you're very precise with all your measuring and different techniques, and so that was really cool. And now I go in my house, I think of you when I see the walls, so thank you. Anyway, I just hope that your day is great and that your new year ahead is going to be fulfilling for you and wonderful memories made. And anyway, happy birthday and can't wait to celebrate. Bye.
Happy birthday, Uncle Doug. I have to say that one of my favorite memories of you is way back in the day when we were climbing Rattlesnake Ridge. That was a way long time ago. It was just so much fun, and I remember all the fun conversation we had. And in general, anytime we're out hiking or, rock climbing or whatever it is at that particular day, I've always really enjoyed just spending that kind of time with you and your family. And I really appreciate what an active lifestyle you lead. I think it's a really wonderful thing.
I gotta say, it's hard to pick a favorite memory when you've lived your entire life making memories with your father. There are many memories that come to mind, but one that always makes us all laugh is when we were singing Feral Cat to the tune of Smelly Cat in Hawaii. Because Ivy had taught us the Smelly Cat song, which we thought was really funny. And there was a feral cat staying where we were staying. And you were like, look, feral cat. As things progressed, the feral cat became an anthem. And we were in the pool one day. And we were playing that game where you try and guess a song underwater. And I was singing a song. And Ivy was guessing. I was singing a little ditty. Ivy guessed, it's Smelly Cat. And I said, no, it's Feral Cat to the tune of Smelly Cat. It was pretty funny. Yeah, there's been amazing memories. The other one that we reference frequently is the time when we were driving and you had Rain-X the car. And we know you love Rain-X. And you notice a spot and you go, "What? That's a funny spot. What up, funny spot?" And here we are today, picking up the phone, calling each other funny spot. So, I always appreciate that, how we can laugh at language, and sometimes people don't understand. But I know I can always laugh at language with you because we all say funny stuff, and mistakes are funny. So yeah, but we've had amazing memories together. There's been all the times that you visited me where I've lived, from spending weeks in Norway during the season of the Midnight Sun, getting up to the cabin, and Kim was there, who we'll probably never forget unless one of us gets dementia. He had built a fire in the cabin, and when we got there, it was warm, and we were like hiking at midnight through a snowstorm. And we hung up our socks. That was a good time. It's always a good active time. I try my best to reserve my energy for your visits. Yeah, so I'm just happy you get to continue to live your life in an adventurous spirit. Paragliding most days. And I want to say happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing birthday, an amazing 60th year. Congratulations on making it this far. We all hope to, and you've done it. So, congratulations and happy birthday. I love you and hope to see you soon.
One of my favorite memories I have of the two of us is when we traveled around Europe before my study abroad semester. We ate delicious food, including massive mugs of hot chocolate. We explored ancient places, hiked in Zermatt, and got a taste of different cultures. And ultimately, we had a really enjoyable time that broadened both our horizons, I think. I know it did for me. You were a wonderful travel companion during that, and I think of it fondly. And come to think of it, good food, travel, and learning new languages and cultures are very you. So maybe that's partly what made the experience memorable, is feeling your excitement for all these experiences. The two of us have 30 years of memories together, so I could go on, but I'll leave it at that. Love you.
All right. Who am I? Ah! Dum, dum, dum. Splat. I'm Doug Beck in 5th grade. I'll never forget when I was climbing up the tree after you and looking up, there you were 20 feet in the air. The limb that we had always relied on to get up into that little crow's nest snapped, and I saw you come back, hit that limb, that branch on the way down, spin around, and hit flat on the ground. And then in traction and cast and everything for the next few months. I remember when you were in the solarium in the bed, and kind of took over the solarium with the TV there and everybody kind of gathering around. And I'll never forget how much your beans stunk. It just filled up the room and floating into the den and into the living room. It was bad. But what do you do for family? You just keep going. At any rate, we were always good kids, and as I look back, I remember when we were throwing snowballs at cars. We're on the top terrace. We were throwing them as hard as we could. They'd go flying up, and sometimes we hit the cars, and sometimes we missed. And I'll never forget one time a guy came along. We threw it, hit the car. We were very cautious. Is he going to come up? He kept going, and then he went around the block and came back. And we saw him, and we just all threw our snowballs as hard as we could and hit his car, slammed on the brakes, and came running right up. Most people just scattered. And I remember Mike Riley and we stood right there, just kind of smiling at him, and he was pissed. Are your parents home? I said, yeah, my mom's home. And so he kind of dragged us up to the front porch, knocked on the door. Mom came down in her bathrobe. I think she was taking a nap. And the guy said, are these your boys? Yes. They were throwing snowballs and hit my car. That's really dangerous, and on and on. And Mom got indignant. What? You woke me up for that? My boys are good boys. It must have been the neighbors. We were always very good boys, just like that, but a little curious, mischievous. And a few different things I can think of when we would put a string across the road up by Albright's and see if a car would see that string and stop, and they would just go right through. It was usually at night we were doing this. They wouldn't see it. So then we decided to tie some sticks into it, and cars would come up, and all of a sudden they see that and they slam on the brakes. And remember, we were in that little copse of trees there on Albright's front lawn, and we dug a little fort down in, and we'd hunker down and see what would happen. They couldn't find us. We thought that was all good and fun until the police came. And I don't know if you remember that. The police car came cruising along, saw that string with the little twigs and branches in it, and took his light on the side of the car and just shone across the trees and the lawns and everything. Scared us half to death. I think that was when we finally stopped. And there are some other things that we did. Let me see what we had. Yeah, I remember when Roosevelt closed, and just perfect opportunity and our curiosity to go and explore the old middle school. We went, someone showed us how to do this, put a little paint thinner on the putty, take the putty out of the windows, get a window out nice and cleanly. We went all around just sort of exploring that old school that we had once gone to, and running through the hallways. I forget the guy's name who we were with. He grabbed one of those canisters to put out fires. We went up to the balcony at the auditorium there, and he took that thing and just heaved it. I remember the sound as it went hit the chairs and all, down below in the auditorium. We looked at each other. We got to get out of here, and we took off. A little bit later, we were over at Mike Riley's house, and his mom said, when we were all sitting there, hey, did you see that someone broke into Roosevelt and kind of tore it up? And we were just wide-eyed. Okay. He said that, yeah, they think the police think they have a good description of the kids that did that, and they're going to find them. We were scared to death. But fortunately, we weren't thrown into slammer. It all worked out okay. But I think Mrs. Riley just, she knew the score, and she was poking us a little bit. I remember another time when Gus Vallon came over. He was in his Easter whites, and cousins and all were over for Easter, and we decided that we dig a pit, like we're going to capture a wild animal, fall down the pit in that big hole in our garden there, and covered it with twigs, a little bit of mud. Called Gus over, and he wouldn't step in the hole. We couldn't get him to step in it, so finally pushed him. He went down, and his one leg was just completely coated, these white pants completely coated in mud, and he got up and ran back home, and we were laughing, and well, Dad couldn't let that stand, and so we went up to our rooms, and Dad was going to call us down one by one and give us a talk and then spank us. As he would say, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. But no, so at any rate, we were ready for it. I remember putting on 4 or 5 pairs of underwear as a bit of padding, and went down, and we were at the bottom of the stairs, bending over, and Dad taking his whatever it was, the ruler or something, and spanking us. And I remember I just died laughing. And I was laughing so hard I was crying, and Dad said, John, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm sure you had similar experience. We were good kids. We really were good kids in Middletown. Great upbringing, family around, Grandma and Grandpa Snathan, Granny and Grandpa Beck, and it was just a great place to be family in that small town. We had such a beautiful opportunities at the country clubs and golfing and swimming and all those things that we did together and shared. It was good. I remember how we shared all those activities. We also shared a room as long as I remember, I think from when we first got there over at Central Avenue. And I always looked up to you, and we always had that friendship and closeness since we shared the room. And I always considered you not just brother, but really my best friend growing up. And I remember when in our swimming we practiced, and we'd be doing those laps and the sprint laps, and I'd be behind you. And I remember I was always trying to catch up. All the bubbles from your feet in my face, and I was always kind of chasing after you, trying to be the younger brother that could hold his own with you. But Doug, I love you. I always will, and just happy birthday. One other thing, or a couple other things we could talk about, mission or going on up to the Boundary Waters with Dad and just Dad and us boys, and Colorado. There's so many great memories. But one of the things that we did out at the gun range at the Sportsman's Club there in Middletown, we had fun shooting, but realized that there's a lot of lead in them dar hills, and so we dug up a bunch of lead. And I know you remember we would, in the backyard where we had a little fire pit, melt down lead. We'd bend over it and smell it and make sure it was ready. But we'd take off the dross that would float to the surface so it was nice and shiny, and we would pour it in a tennis ball, sometimes with a bolt, a really long bolt. I don't know if you remember that. And so we made a mace with it. That was really cool. And one time we put a chain in it with some nails that stuck out of it, and had this ball and chain that we would swing around. And we were always just doing crazy stuff like that. It was just so much fun, winging our nunchucks around, and stilts, and our unicycle. It was endless fun growing up with you.
Hey Doogie, I just want to tell you happy birthday, bon anniversaire, to a wonderful brother-in-law. It's been a great 35 years knowing you.